Hello, Lose Weight with Macros family. Welcome to a brand new episode and happy 2023. We have made it to a brand new year. You're tuned in to another episode of Lose Weight with Macros, the basics podcast with me, your host, Verona, your behavior change nutrition coach, helping you and other women like you who are stuck in that cycle of yo-yo dieting, emotional eating, stress eating, overwhelmed eating, all the types of eating we as women can do, especially when we're on the weight loss train. Let us get together to celebrate. Raise your glasses, friends. Let's toast to the brand new year, new you, new goals, and all of those good things. Today's episode, we're talking about 5 weight loss resolutions you can actually keep, because quitting everything is not an option. Grab your notepad and pen, your hot water, your liquid of beverage of choice. Buckle up, friends. Let's get it. Okay, friends, so how was your new year? Can you believe we are in a brand new year, 2023? Oh my goodness, I am so looking forward to this year. Let me just say a prayer for those who are listening right now. I just pray, Father, everybody under the sound of my voice that is tuning into this episode. I'm happy. I'm so glad that you brought us to 2023. And those of us who have still not lost the weight that we want to, I pray that we would not forget the things and the challenges that we had gone through in the last year, specifically when it comes to weight loss. And we remember the things that we went through. And Lord, may we not make those same mistakes this same year. And I pray that we will have friends and be surrounded with people that like and right-minded people. In Jesus' name, amen. So, speaking of like-minded people, now getting straight into this one, you know when we say, I remember last year, and it was literally the day before today, it was like yesterday, and it's so weird. People say, you know what, last year I made this mistake, and then you're really talking about you made a mistake on the 31st of December or even the 30th of December. And it's so weird having to adjust that we're in a whole new set of 12 months, a whole new set of 365 days. Listen, friends, if you are in this place where you have got that guilt mindset, let us put that aside. There's a Bible scripture that actually says, let us lay aside every dead weight that hinders us. So literally that means everything that ensnares you, everything that traps you, everything that holds you down. If it's a bit like, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called an ox. I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's a little bit like being held down by something. If you've got a bag on your back and like a really heavy bag, like a really heavy backpack, and you know how that weighs you down, and when you take it off, you're like, oh my goodness, like it's literally a weight lifted off your shoulders. That's the same thing when it comes to our weight loss. And some of the things that we've made, the mistakes we've made, the choices that we've made that haven't quite worked out, it's now time to enter this year with a 12-month plan. I want to challenge you to write a 12-month plan when it comes to weight loss. Now, if you're one of my mindset clients, you know we've already gone through this exercise. Now, if you want to be one of my mindset clients, I'll give you the opportunity. You can do that over on the website. However, one of the things that we do when it comes to behavior change coaching isn't necessarily getting caught up or hung up on the things that you didn't do, but it's the things that you still have the opportunity to do now. We've been given a whole new day, a whole new 365 days of the year. We can change this now. And as your coach, I'm going to help you do that. Now, I know I'm not directly working with you on the podcast, but many of you will come to have applied to work with me. And I would love to work with all of you, but it's only one me. So I can only coach so many. And when it comes to coaching, we are asking these type of questions, especially when it comes to the first tip, getting your mind right. In order to make a change, you need to believe that change is possible. So as your behavior change coach, it's about empowering you to know that the mistakes that you made when it came to your diet, how can you learn from that? So as we're jumping off the get-go, when you're getting your mind right, you're now saying, what can I do different to what I did in 2022 when it comes to nutrition? Did I restrict myself too much? How can I unrestrict myself this year? And you're making a 12-month plan that is actually going to be realistic, because many of us, you know, just lose weight for 12 weeks and then we think that that's it, we've got it. That's why I don't offer 12-week coaching anymore. Nothing wrong with coaches who do that. Me as a coach, if I'm a behavior change mindset coach, I want to be able to equip you long term, not just 12 weeks, because 12 weeks is just the start, and then we're getting into actually solidifying it. So when it comes to getting your mind right, the best way to do that is to think about how much better your life will be once you've reached your goal. And that's why we do the goal setting at the beginning. And you have listened to this podcast right at the right time. Open up your goal sheet that you've downloaded from here, and then just start to write your goals. What are they? Be specific, make them measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound. Now, when it comes to time bound, you might not actually lose the weight in the time that you want to, but you still set a time. So from the beginning of 2023 to the end of 2023, that could be a time bound. And then you're setting your goals in accordance to that. Number 2, focus on one goal at a time. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're trying to make big changes. So one of the things I'm talking about very early on in coaching and focus on the fat loss is it's easy to feel overwhelmed. So that's why it's so important to break them down into smaller ones and give yourself time to achieve each one before moving on to the next one. Number 3, be realistic with your goals. Yes, I want to lose 100 pounds. Yeah, okay. But how are you going to do that? £100 is a fantastic goal, but I'm telling you, it doesn't take 6 weeks for that to happen. It takes at least a year to be able to do that. And then once you've lost it, what are you going to do? But don't set yourself up for failure by setting unrealistic expectations for yourself or your progress, because you'll just end up feeling like a failure and giving up entirely. Instead of doing that, set goals that are challenging enough for you that they're going to push you outside of your comfort zone, but not so hard that they're impossible or unlikely. For example, losing £10 in 2 weeks isn't really going to happen. Number 4, surround yourself with supportive people. Now, it's tempting when you're feeling discouraged or unmotivated to isolate yourself, like to just sit on your own and just be a little bit of a loner. It's easy to do that. I've done the same thing myself. One of the reasons why we can tend to do this is because what we feel is they might be able to see what a mess you've made of your life. Or you say that, I've messed up. I feel so guilty. I'm not going to be anything. You know what? My husband's so slim. Why is it me? My daughter wants macaroni and cheese, so I have to give in to my macaroni and cheese daughter, and I have to make something else, and I don't feel supported. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. And just sometimes really just assess who you want to be this year. And we don't have to have it all figured out in the beginning of the year. It's just day one. But have these things in the back of your mind. If you experience friendships in the 2022 like I did that weren't very given to you, they just began to take from you. They took emotionally, they took spiritually, they just took a lot that you just don't have the power and the energy to give anymore. If you don't want to be around those type of people, then it's about how can you surround yourself with people that are going to encourage you and draw out the best in you, but also tell you about yourself when you need to be told, in love, of course. But when you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, when you're surrounding yourself with people who are for you, there's such a difference. You can actually feel it and you actually can see it. So when I created Focus on the Fat Loss, which for those who don't know, it's the group coaching macros program, and I created that for 20 women to actually give you that support around it, because you can get support from out there from anywhere, but I created it in a way to get the support that's right for the women that are on the program. You're all on the same journey. You're striving to focus actually on fat loss, and fat loss is different to weight loss. Fat loss, you're actually focused on how you can start to prepare yourself and set yourself up for success to start to lose fat and to see fat lost. But this is why I've set this up, to be able to help you to change. And I know that macros can be confusing. I know that macros can be intimidating. I was there too. Although I'm a macros coach, and this podcast is about macros, it doesn't mean that I don't know that macros were confusing. But the reason why I have put on this course is because I want to help you understand everything that you need to about tracking macros. So when it comes to that, once you're confident in that, you'll be able to then track them on your own, and then you'll be able to stay on track with your macros and when you go out as well. So there's women that has been sick and tired of feeling like they've had to work out to lose weight. There's women who've been moms. There's loads of different things, and I created it to help you. I don't know how I can describe it anymore, but I created it to help you. And one of the things, which is why this list is in here, is to help you to set realistic goals. And yes, we do talk about nutrition. Yes, we even talk about meal prep. But one of the key things that I've changed that I haven't done in group coaching before is I actually talk about diet rehab. And diet rehab is literally taking you through that, because there is going to be a breakthrough that you never knew you needed. And that often comes from the dieting, because most of us have been on that restrictive dieting cycle to be able to try to attempt to lose weight. And we do succeed. We have lost weight, and then it stops, then we end up regaining it, and then we end up regaining the weight that we'd lost, and it gets so discouraging. Want to know the worst thing about yo-yo dieting? Is you don't really learn why it happens. You just start a diet, then you lose some weight, and you celebrate, and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel better, I can feel my clothes fitting better already, I've got more energy, I've never had this amount of sleep before, and then you celebrate with food, and then what ends up happening is you go back to your old habits, then you regain the weight that you'd already lost, and it adds some tax. Friends, if you've been in this position, there's no shade. I've been in this position, my clients have been in this position, and I want to help you come away from this cycle of yo-yo dieting. In a recent survey, 95% of dieters said they were frustrated and or discouraged by their yo-yo dieting habits. Now, if you know what to do but don't know how to do it, you're in good company. Breaking the yo-yo cycle is very possible. There are many reasons why diets fail, but the solution is simple. Reserve your spot for the Ditch the Yo-Yo Diet workshop today and start losing weight for real. Head over to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/diets to reserve your spot. But for now, friends, let's continue with today's episode. And so, ending up on this, because I haven't quite ended on this one, but surrounding yourself with positive people, because when it comes to isolation tends to make things worse. And instead, surround yourself with people who will lift you up instead of tearing you down, which is exactly why I've created and taken that dieting module and put that into a masterclass, so you can actually learn about what will come in February, which is when we are opening, when we are starting the group coaching. And I've been in a place where people are supportive and people who are unsupportive, and I'm saying all of that to say I've experienced the positive and the negative side of community. And as a coach, I don't want any other woman to go through that. If you're coming with that kind of attitude, like it's all about you, don't come and sign up to my coaching. Yeah, don't come and sign up, because I don't want you to infect somebody else who has taken the courage to step up and you know what it takes to make the step to change your life when it comes to being overweight. You've got to accept a lot of things to be able to do that. Now, you can detect the change in my voice. Don't come and mess about with my girls. Don't. I'll give you back your money, but respectfully. And here's why I'm staunch on that, and that we're stuck on this point number 4. Surround yourself with supportive people. When you don't have supportive people around you, it's either going to make or break you. I wanted to leave the church, and I love my church. I wanted to leave the church that I was at, not the faith, but the church. And I'm not going to go into it because it's over and done with now, and it was a few years back. However, I got to a point where I couldn't trust anybody, and I was like, well, I felt like, who can I trust? Because also overthinking happened, all of these sorts of things. You're like, who is my friend, who isn't? And it wasn't until I spoke to certain people that I actually was clued in and I understood what actually happened, kind of levered itself. But at the same time, what I've learned from that experience is not everybody is where you're at, not everybody is for you, not everybody is going to like you, and that is totally okay. However, when it comes to weight loss, find your peoples. When you find those people who are for you, which, taking my experience personally and my experience in terms of qualifications and behavior and change, I've now put that into a place where I'm fostering a community so you can feel safe in this space. If you know yourself and you know you can be like that, and what I'm saying to you, my story has struck a chord to you, it's probably not for you. So when it comes to surrounding yourself with people, I am absolutely, and also coming from somebody who was bullied at school, I'm absolutely, when it comes to making sure you are supported, and I've gone on with this for a while, I've labored on this point, but I have to reiterate, it is about getting the right support. When you have the right support, you will thrive. You will literally feel supported, encouraged, even if it's one word, even if it's "you go girl," even if it's those cheesy motivational lines that we can have, all on the same goal, empowering you and encouraging you. That is what my heart lives for, to encourage you, not just to lose the weight, but to regain your confidence. That's why I've labored on this point a lot. It's important to your success to surround yourself with positive people. Oftentimes we want that to be the people closest to us, but we don't always get it in the way that we do expect it or want it. But there are other ways that you can begin to foster that, and sometimes it's strangers on the internet that can be your thriving gang, and you never know where people are going to actually live. They could actually live right near you, and then you actually start to form real life friendships. The kids come around, play dates and all of those things, all from you taking a step to join focus on the fat loss. And that's why I've created this model to be specifically like that. Number 5, get enough sleep. If you're feeling unmotivated, the first thing to do is to check your sleep schedule. If you've been getting less than 7 hours of sleep a night, try the key operative word there, try to get more sleep. You'll be amazed at how quickly it improves your mood and energy level. Now, those are the 5 weight loss resolutions that you can actually keep, because quitting everything is definitely not an option. Now, I labored on number 4 a lot. I didn't really plan to labor on that one a lot, but sometimes that's how the Lord leads the podcast. The prayer at the beginning, that's how he leads the podcast, and I feel like that is what needed to be shared. And my personal story, having been there with having friends and those same friends turning against me, not just in church but in school, etc., being bullied, and then that actual same feeling, I'm then going to turn into food to actually try to comfort and to soothe me. Nobody knew about it, but that's what I did. I knew about it, God knew about it, and those people that I trusted knew about it. That's for me how I dealt with it. And then evidently that caused weight gain, and then more weight gain, more insecurities, more overwhelm, more diets, more restrictions, more binging, more overeating, more crying, more loneliness, more rejection, and the cycle just kept on going and going and going. Hence why I've created these things, or put on these things, to be able to help women who are in this cycle that you don't feel confident to speak it out. So my friends, if you are going to set resolutions, if you have already set them, make sure that you're in a place where you're getting your mind right. In order for you to change, you need to believe that change is possible, and you even if it's one word, you can absolutely do this. Focus on one goal at a time. Be realistic with your goals. Yeah, we can be so ambitious, which is great for being ambitious, but they've got to be realistic for you and where you're at in your life right now. Surrounding yourself with supportive people. I don't need to labor on that one anymore. I've said it. You've heard my genuine heart there. And number 5, get enough sleep. Oftentimes we don't get enough sleep, and now we're getting into the point where this is the last weekend before, or the last few days before we actually start to go back to our normal routine, our normal mentalities, etc. when it comes to work. And so we've got to get up and now focus on the new year. All of those things, the same for me too. So these are my 5 things, friends. I just hope that you have heard this. This has been my heart today. And I actually want you to succeed. I actually want you to lose weight and to do great. That sounds so cheesy, but I do actually want you to lose the weight, not just lose it, but I want you to do things that you can actually keep. And there's a lot of things where people are saying, you know what, I've got 12 points and I can't eat this. I can eat, dried chicken breast, but I can't eat turkey mince. It's a lot of stuff. When you conundrums at things that shouldn't really be a conundrum, it gets messy, it gets sticky, and then you start to get overwhelmed. This year, please, if I can help you anyhow, let me know. If you want to come up on here and grab a spot for free Coach Fridays, don't wait. Don't think about, oh, people are gonna hear my business. Don't worry about no one else. I don't need to share your name. You don't need to be you don't need to be revealed. You can keep that between me and you. They don't need to know your business. But if you're somebody who actually wants to make a difference in 2022, I'm going to help you. vanutritioncoaching.co.uk is the website. vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/focus is where you can find more information if you want that support group and that support system to be able to help you. And if you're stuck in this diet and you don't want to, the workshop is on the 23rd of January at 6 p.m. GMT time. vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/diets is where you can grab your spot. And that, my friends, is all we've got time for today. I am so glad that you are tuning in. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it. If you've tried to help them, if you've tried to encourage them and it's just like speaking to a brick wall, send this to them. I'm gonna talk to them for you on your behalf. Share it on Facebook, share it on your social media if you are on these platforms. And friends, that is the end of today's episode. I cannot wait to catch you in the next one. Hey friend, you made it to the end of the episode. What was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review over on iTunes. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's episode, or you need help, then you can contact me over on Instagram at VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast, or email me support@vanutritioncoaching.co.uk, or you can head over to the Facebook page VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast. It helps us reach even more women who are fed up with dieting, don't know how to lose weight, they're frustrated with following Sally's results and they're not getting any of their own, and they just finally want to shed some pounds and do it in a way that they can sustain and they can enjoy. But my friends, that's a wrap for today's episode. I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Until then, friends, stay healthy, stay blessed, and remember, if you haven't already downloaded your 5-ingredient recipe pack, you can go to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/recipes and download your 5-ingredient recipe pack. Who said healthy eating was boring? See you next time, friend.